international job market is shrinking. India is supposed to promote more jobs internally. That means we have to create more technology oriented jobs internally. That is the most important point I would like to stress here. And another thing, people say this was done little old. That time people said level of FDA flows into India, and that is also shrinking with now with this lockdown and the closure of all countries. So we can't expect big FDI flows into the India. That means only companies can come and set up shop here, but we can't expect big money coming inside. That means India is supposed to spend its own money, I mean, earn its own money. So coming from the national level to the personal level, if you see individuals as individuals, who we are, and this is a called junk chart, we would say. If you see all people in the world, we can divide them into three areas. One is the soul, self, and ego. And ultimately, under this, we can see more people here, right from creator to innocent sage, explorer, outlaws, magician, heroes, lover, jester, every person, caregiver, ruler, all this. These are all called archetypes. So these archetypes are the one that makes us, and ultimately we are packed into this four cubes. Provide structure to the world and year for paradise, leave a mark on the world, connect with others. So we can pack ourselves in all these areas. This is at a personal level and it's a psychosociological level. And moving to the next level, if you see, we as researchers or a person in academia, we always see ourselves as teachers and researchers, and dabbling ourselves in the laboratory and guiding more number of PhD students, whatever possible, and try to create next generation researchers with the help of laboratories, academia, research, and the expertise what we gained over a period of years. Ultimately, we are promoting the next generation. And of course, the most important area here is the searching for ideas and topics. Most of the time, people always find difficulty in searching for topics and ideas. This is where we find difficulty. We spend more time. We also grope on the dark, and we go around searching for many ideas. You can see everywhere we search things, and ultimately we scan the literature. And ultimately, what happens? Most of the people are pushed to the level of um, getting some ideas which emanates in the recent past. That is how we try to start working on this. And even after all these things, we do not know what is the light and the end of the tunnel. So we try to start walking and walking. At times, people try to say that we are walking through the wonderful route. Sometimes people say lament saying that I could not get this results, I could not get the results. Ultimately, we move towards the kind of research packed under these areas. One is the applied research, that is application pure research and applied research. And objective, you can see exploratory research, descriptive research, correlation research, explanation research, and here you can see qualitative and quantitative research in this right side of the area. So this is where we can pack ourselves. And the expectation here now with the government and the world and the scenario is that we have to move towards the application area, the applied research area. This is the most important one. Of course, we cannot rule out the requirement for exploratory research and descriptive, correlation, explanatory, all these things. So coming to this, so what is the important requirement here is everyone is supposed to deep dive into the subject. So pick one or two threads and try to deep dive into the subject and acquire in-depth knowledge to move to the next level of achieving more and more. And if you again classify people based on their knowledge, we can pack them into four levels. One is the routine thinking person, second thing conceptual thinking person, third one is strategy thinking person, and fourth one is an extended thinking person. So mostly the expectation from the researcher are level 3 and level 4. I'll give you the explanation why I am telling this. This slide will give you here. You can see the pyramid, Carl Jung pyramid. You can see here the fourth point, the creating and evaluating. That means the question should be, can the learner create new product or point of thing? And can the learner justify a stand or decision? That's more important ultimately. Yeah, all other things are routine. We can see that happens every day on a day-to-day life. And this will give you a very interesting, very simple example how we can classify into four people. The level 1, recall and reproduction. Here, this is a simple example given. Learn about temperature and how is it measured. That means anybody can do this. The second one is skills and apply skills and concepts. Take the outdoor temperature for a month and put it in a spreadsheet. That means it's a kind of generating data. That means anybody can do this again. The third one is the strategic thinking. Compare the patterns of temperature, their own and maybe a partner class. That means you try to compare the temperatures, how different areas perform in temperatures, what is the difference, why they differ, how they differ, all these things. The fourth one is coming under the ambit of the research, real researchers. Extended thinking, apply everything they have learned to and a project on global warming. This is where the researcher's ingenuity comes. Most of the time, why I am stressing all these things here is most of the time we are working on a copycat mechanism. We try to ape some papers, get some kind of materials and methods, try to apply that, and finally say, I'm not getting results. There is a problem here, there's a problem there, that's a problem. And ultimately, we find difficulty moving into this. But the important expectation here from all the researchers now or from today onwards is the application of creativity, innovation. The invention is the one that everybody, almost all researchers are expected to do. But more than that, here you can see the creativity and innovation. I just told earlier about this requirement for the 4 levels, the third level and fourth level, and third level, fourth level are the one that increases the creativity. So why I am analyzing the temperature? That's more important. You might think I am trying to take a school classroom kind of activity, but it's not the case, because I have been interacting with many researchers and many faculties and many students. Most of the time they try to come and say, even jocularly I used to tell people, most of the students they come and say, sir, I need at least 20 tables in my thesis, 20 figures in my thesis. And even sometimes people might say, now I have to use different statistics also. That should not be the case. So ultimately, the deep dive is required here in coming out creative ideas or crazy ideas, I would say. Ultimately, that only will lead to a good research, and also at times the serendipitous invention or kind of new knowledge that we are adding to the research field. And if we do that, some of this can go into the innovation area, turning a new concept into commercial success. But the world, especially India, requires this. Why I am stressing again here this requirement of innovation is the job scenario. In the first slide I have shown, India is supposed to cater to almost 20 crore to 35 crore younger generation falling in the age bracket of 20 to 40. So government cannot provide jobs, private cannot provide jobs. Even the biggest companies or the world best companies coming and setting shop cannot provide jobs. We as teachers are supposed to promote as many students to stand on their own legs. So the requirement is, instead of training students for jobs, that was the kind of ecosystem we had some 30 years back, 40 years back. We were training only students for only jobs. Now we have to change that to jobs to standing on their own legs. That is an important requirement here. So the a tinge in our research, or I would say a small cake in our research towards innovation is also important. Yes, people might say I am working on classical research or pure research or even taxonomical research or background basic research. All these things are fine. But ultimately, how I try to relate that to the changing patterns or expectations of the external ecosystem is important. And next comes, if you do all these things, if you see the process of bringing your invention to the market, this is the most important area talked about, people, the protection of your knowledge. So this also forms part of your major activity in doing your research. And of course, as academics, this is the area, the red square, you can say, this is the area mostly we wait for. Either we go for design patents or utility patents. If it is engineering, we give more importance to the design patents. And if it is going to be utility patent, this is more on functional aspects, make use of, sale, import, many things that's coming under this. So we have to move towards that, the entire academia. Of course, we know as responsible faculties, we try to publish our results. More than publication, we also, to improve our personal curriculum vitae or resume, we also move towards patenting of our knowledge also. But more than that, the important requirement is what kind of information we are taking for knowledge protection. That's also important. I hope other people would you be hearing more lectures on the intellectual property rights also. So I don't want to delve much on these areas, but the important requirement is we need to take the students also toward this knowledge protection ecosystem. And at times people might say, even there are people who talk about or talk against the patents also. Mostly people might say patents are only for increasing your value of your resume, but it's not going to help. Even I am an open resource researcher, I never encourage any patents in my life. But the new regime requires knowledge protection also. And coming to this, what kind of policy support system we get from the external system or from the government? There is a wonderful support now available from the government. You might have seen almost the technology business incubators or entrepreneurship cells in almost all the universities, colleges functioning now. In those days, we used to have only this national cadre corps, that is more to us with the military. This next came the National Social Service. Next came the National Ecological Corps kind of things working for the environment. Now it is environment cells. Most of the colleges I had seen, the entrepreneurship cells are working only for the namesake. That has to be revived now, and it has to be given more importance. All faculty should participate in this. Then only it's possible for us to think through the lens of the entrepreneurship or creation of innovations and taking the knowledge to the um, IPR, and then moving towards commercialization. Of course, the basic requirement is the exploration in the name of basic research, and ultimately this has to take us to the applied research and the concept development to the commercial production process. Ultimately, I am linking this to the societal benefits. Here you can see the policy support and technology infrastructure. Now almost all the colleges and private university, government university has wonderful technology infrastructure. Even in this corona, we might have seen when the government said we want RT-PCR machines, almost all the universities donated this to many people. So that means almost all the universities are endowed with many good technologies as infrastructures to develop technologies. And policy level support, I'll come to that little later, and government has wonderful policies now. But of course, ultimately, the expectation is societal benefit. So I would insist all the scientists to see the right side of your work, whatever you see, do. Societal benefits. Orient your research towards societal benefits. That means you have to necessarily think through the lens of society, how my research can benefit the society at large. That is an important requirement. That once you do that, there is a possibility you may come up with a lot of innovations and commercial products. Even we might see something as trivial. And I will give you the best example that happened during this corona. Some 4 months back, none of us would have thought of, when the government said for 6 years, Swachh Bharat, all these things, we never thought of the sanitizers or even this personal protective equipments, or for that matter, even the small this sanitizer dispensing machines. Now we see a lot of things happening around the world. Every university college is coming about automatic dispenser machines. And also now we see almost hundreds of companies knocking about coming up with sanitizers. Either it could be isopropyl alcohol or sodium, silver nitrate, or through some other means. But there are a lot of things happening now. Almost I have seen personally from the other side of the platform, almost 150 companies have started in Chennai itself to start producing sanitizers. This is going to be a very big market. It is nothing but isopropyl alcohol plus little amount of glycerol plus water and hydrogen peroxide. That's all. It's not a very difficult thing to produce. But to start something to produce and start selling that itself is a very big game that requires guts in the minds of the people. Now I see more of people already in the job are moving to or aligning themselves to other areas. I had seen one company in Tirumalai in Chennai itself, the industrial estate, who are into producing engineering products. Now they moved into the dispensers and disinfection tunnels and many new things. That means people are aligning towards that. Now there is a possibility even the students also join this bandwagon and try to think on these areas. And another development that happened now is the face shields. Almost all hospitals, all medical areas now they are supposed to use this face shields. And I have seen almost 20 companies in Chennai started producing these face shields. Even the railways have started producing face shields. That means I'm not talking much about marine technology here. I'll come to that later. But these are the development that happens immediately. But there are possibilities. Marine also can be brought in. That I'll come to that little later. So this corona has also given a lot of opportunities or also to think on this line, how best we can encourage more people to work on this societal benefits. But coming back to this marine biotechnology area, you can see lot of things can be produced by the marine biotechnology, right from industrial enzymes to functional foods to functional materials to pharmaceuticals to cosmetics to agricultural products. And it is fitted that marine biotechnology potential of the globe is will be around 4.98 billion by 2020 and 6.5 billion by 2025. You can see almost in all these areas this works: human health to sustainable food supply to industrial application to environmental health to and sustainable renewable energy. In every area you can see marine biotechnology plays a major role. And lot of examples also happened, and laboratories are also working. You can see on the right side here the services and products that is discovered, given listed here: drugs, biofuels, electricity, food, enzymes, compound and minerals, and other many things. And of course, these are the things we are going to, as a biotechnologists, we can use all these things, right from the biochemistry to molecular biology to nanotechnologies to bioinformatics to omics, all these things. And if you see again the value pyramid of marine biotechnology, you can see here the pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, 100. And you can see here fine chemicals, proteins, energy, everything has its own value. So of course, this is a very old, 10 years old data, but still it's growing, it carries a lot of value. And what are all the areas we can harness from this marine biotechnology concept, biotechnology area? Right from algae to fish to invertebrate to microorganisms, for producing waste and processing, even processing the waste and processing residues and organism brackish water areas and marine associated areas. All these carries very good potential as resources for us to work on the commercial technologies. And what all things we can look into here: wild species of exploration and sustainable harvest, and new species identification of for production of new materials, and sustainable culturing of marine organisms. This is another important area. As a marine biotechnologist, one has to start thinking on these lines, especially the aquaculture of new fishes and microalgae, seaweeds, even offshore, onshore, and last-made aquaculture, sir. And development of process and preservation of biomass. If you harvest fish, of course, harvesting fish and preservation, all these are old things. But there are requirements for many areas for one to work on. But at macro level, if you scan, we will not get any idea what area we can work. Only if you go to the field, we'll get to know what is required to be done further. So we need to visit the area and find out, or deep dive into the area, or we can visit the societies or communities and try to capture the requirements and starting work on that as a backward integration. Find the problem of a people and try to work on the solutions and give it back to the society. That itself will become a wonderful opportunity for us to say that we are working on marine biotechnology areas. And again, you can see here in animal and human health also, we can see nutrition supplements, functional food products, nutraceuticals, cosmetics, prebiotics, probiotics, pharmaceutical, biochemical materials, customized diets. Many things can be done. Of course, India is not exposed much to this kind of food systems, but as if you see Southeast Asian countries like um, Korea, Japan, Thailand, Philippines, all these areas, they know how to harness this marine potentials, and they are into this many areas. And food and feeds, you can see marine bioresources food, and algae as food, seaweed as food, and there are a lot of functional ingredients, and even there are possibilities to identify new species as food materials. And we might have seen that, I'll come to that later, about this Capaficus alvarezi success and integrated food and feed production and production of novel industrial products like enzymes, biomaterials, and environmental aspects, especially bioremediation and ocean health. And this is one good area somebody has to work on: bioremediation potential of marine organisms to help the cities also. I'll come to that little later. And of course, marine microalgae, and considering the time, I'm going very fast. I don't want to take much of your time. And the marine microalgae, it starts from the collection, identification, characterization, and moving towards the identification of its potential, utilization part, then mass culturing and utilization. All these things are there. So I'm not going much. This is one potential area to work with, and lot of developments happened all over the world, and hectares and hectares of microalgae are grown. You might have seen this also as marine biotechnologists. This Dunaliella, spirulina, and chloral, marine chlorella, and many algae are used, and diatoms are grown large scale level, and even moving to the next level, zooplanktons are grown in a bigger level. Like that, we can move from one to another to get many things out of this. And simply this gives a comparison about this availability of carotenoids or DHA or the active secondary metabolites in this different algae, like pentanoic acids to decasohexanoic acid and other things, arachidonic acid, all these things. The content here, you can see Aurantocritidium, and very few people would have seen this people growing in large scale level, and this has very good potential for one to look into also more than Dunaliella, other things. So if you see again, you can see here the pigment production profiles of different algae. So you can see this, the right side, the cyanophyta to prochlorophyte to other things. Even you can see the wonderful, I mean, the domination of the kind of pigments in few algae. So I don't want to spend much time. These are the indicators of where we can start working and think working. And we can pick one leaf out of this and start working on this area to strike some gold after some time. You can see this Hematococcus grown in a large scale photobioreactors, and this is a highly potential area. India endowed with a good amount of sunlight, has a lot of potential to work on these areas. Somebody can start thinking on this. This is from Israel. When Israel could be able to grow that, why not India should also grow that? And there is a bigger possibility for one to work on this. And of course, now people are resorting, India, people are resorting to growing open pond cultivations. There's high potential for us to work on photobioreactors. And this is another area, and still it's in infancy. Somebody can work on this. I mean, modification of fishes for production of EPA. You can see this is the latest publication. This is a very good book I had come across, Essential of Marine Biotechnology by Sekwon Kim. This is a recent 2019 publication. Everyone should go through this. You get a lot of ideas. What all areas are working on this? If you're algae, you can work on algae. You can ask ichthyologists to work on fishes, and many other work. Even biochemists has a lot of potential to work on different areas. Coming to other one, the high potential area is the seaweeds. We know we are extinct. Tamil Nadu is known for that, and Mandapam coast is known for that, for extraction of seaweed. I mean, use of utilization of seaweeds for production of many things. And the one algae, we can see this Capophagus alvarezi that is produced in large scale level in Mandapam coast. Now it is tested even on Andhra coast and even Gujarat coast. So people are trying this. Our own good friends are doing this in a large scale level. You can see this phytosterols, carotenoids, polysaccharides, and vitamins, amino acids all carry, and this is most important, glycerolipids. I'll come to this fluorotannins also. Next slide, we can give you this information. And here you can see this polysaccharides has lot of potential. The Capophagus I told earlier, it has carrageenan, and we extract good amount of agar, alginates, many things used in different areas, especially in cosmetics and nutraceutical and functional food areas. And even they can be used as anti-inflammatory, anticoagulant, anti-cancer compounds also. And there are leads available, and Indian coasts are yet to be scanned for many such opportunities, and it's open. And this is one important fluorotannin, Ecol, Eclonia. Of course, Indian coast we need to really scan, but there are kith and kin of the same brown alga that can be tried for this kind of fluorotannins. It has lot of value, and somebody has to start screening this and work on these areas. Ecol. And even there's another area where people still the area open is the tissue culture of seaweeds, and very few laboratories are attempting this, but still the area is wide open. Many people can start working on this, improving the strains and for productivity also. At times even inland cultivation also is possible if you perfect the technology. Nowadays even seaweeds are grown inside the laboratory with artificial ecosystem. That's another possibility. And the other, this is an important area. Seaweeds can be used for bioremediation of industrial, agriculture, and city wastewaters, and ultimately get lot of water and nutrients and many things, even biofuels, bioenergy, many things. And earlier we were talking about using only the microalgae for this kind of activities. Now seaweeds also are the possibility that we can try for some areas. And this is what I was telling. This is a success story for India. And almost the entire Tamil Nadu coast now it's growing Kappa ficus. Even the bottom of the pyramid, people in the rural areas also growing this and trying to get money by selling this to the companies extracting carrageenan out of this. And carrageenan uses, I'm not going into this, but there are a lot of uses you can get from the open literature. And this is another area, fucoidan. And of course, India has to scan the equivalent material for this also. And there is a wonderful scope as cosmetic things and also medical uses. Lot of things can be done. And the other one, glycerolipids from diatoms. And somebody has to start working on different diatoms to get this glycerolipids. And this is another area that is growing and has a lot of potential in medical systems. And fourth one, the cyclic lipopeptides. Again, this is from marine bacteria, and there is no depth for isolation and knowledge for isolating bacteria also. This is also a very latest publication, I would say, and this has a lot of potential. Somebody can work on this. And only if you go deep dive into this, we will get. And the consolites, this is another thing, the venom that can be used as a medicine in medical systems, neurotoxin kind of things. And this is another area. And very few people work has gone inside. Ovothiols, marine metazoans, this is another area, vertebrate eggs. This can be tried, and a lot of potential is there. Only somebody has to work on this. The marine sponges, the isolation of chitin and secutepin hydroquinones, averones, averols. These are the compounds somebody has to scan and try to get this. And this, again, latest publication about this ectinacidin. Of course, this is a 2000 publication, but still people are studying on this and getting a lot of novel usage for this compound. And of course, these are all the routine things we are seeing now. People are doing that. We just like that brush it as this aquaculture work. This is nothing to do with aquaculture work. Now this is going to be marine biotechnology work also. Even if you see, India grows hectares and lakhs and hectares of shrimp is grown in India, and no shrimp seed is produced in India. We are importing shrimp seeds. And Artemia, we are importing from outside the country. If somebody start working on this, there is a wonderful possibility we can try to generate internal economy, improve the internal economy, and generate internal profits also. And these are all the opportunities available for one to work on all these things and get very good revenues out of this. And of course, ornamental fish farming. I don't want to go to the sea cucumber area, but there are other ornamental fish farming. We see this as a most of a gaming activity or as a kind of activity that is done by illiterates or somebody. Here also a lot of potential is there. And Chennai is one of the hotbeds for this ornamental fish farming. And somebody can start working on this. This is another one. Of course, I'm coming to this. This is the most important one. Satyabama University is also running, Center for Ocean Research is running this postgraduate diploma in fishery food products technology, and very big potential is there, especially in converting these fish food products and of course all other allied products in converting them into palatable things. And this market is also growing gradually in India, and many products can be brought out by people who can take up this kind of entrepreneurship courses. This is one good example. It is available in Satyabama, and many people can start working on this course. Coming to this startup growth ecosystem, the support system, there is a very big support available from government. Once you have the idea, and you have to rehearse that whether that will be, you have to think whether this idea can be a good research component or as a commercial component. If it is a research component, naturally we will take it for publication, or if it is a commercial component, we will take it to the patenting. And again, it can, there is a possibility we can extend that to the level of commercialization, or encourage some of our students, or encourage a group of students and faculties together, join together with them and start a startup company and take it forward to the level of to see that it is getting the mileage out of growing, the growth to established level, expansion level to mature levels. The next slide will give you a little more information. Ultimately, it all lies in getting the minimum viable product. This is more important. And there is no point in telling I have come across something and this will be used by the people. Ultimately, we have to match what has come out of a laboratory or research, that to the requirement of the society. And we have to do the matchmaking exercise. And if it is really worthier, then we can take forward to next level of product market fit. Once the market is ready with the minimum viable product, we see there is a viability. I can give you a simple example for this also. If you are working on probiotics, or if you are working on some, uh, even I would say, uh, aquaculture seeds are kind of Leptopenes vaname. Now we are importing. If we are able to crack that technology and say that I have the capability to produce lakhs and lakhs of jumblings, then that carries potential. Then we can see the product market fit. If we go to the market, if our product could be able to sustain in this local ecosystem, then we can say there is a big market available for us. Only after we get this product market fit, then we can go to the channel product fit. That is much easier to do, but of course this will be difficult for many areas. For this aquaculture, if we could able to strike a gold, then it's much easier. Straight away we can go to the aquaculture and tell, hey, I have this seeds, why don't you buy from me? Once they buy and they see the results and they're growing well, then it's bang on. You can start working on a large scale level also. You can get many support from different aquaculturists. Andhra is topping the table, and Gujarat is growing in a very big way in aquaculture. Tamil Nadu is following that. Other states also growing in brackish water aquaculture. Go to West Bengal or even in Orissa, inland fisheries are taking in a very big way, even Assam, other areas. But of course, for everything, these are the four things that is required: minimum viable product, product market fit, channel product fit, and maturity. And before all these things, we need good research. That is the most important requirement. So if you do that, then it's much easier. We can take at least one idea forward to next. And if you need any kind of support, you can also visit Technology Business Incubator of Satyabama University, and we are here to help you in taking you forward. If you ask me now, what kind of supports, Technology Business Incubator external ecosystem offer, this is too early for us to say, but for you, if you have some ideas, there are a lot of support available, right from the NSTEDB of DST, from BIRAC of BBT, and to many private investment ecosystems, right from angels to venture capitals to individual investors. Many support systems are available. Even technology business or incubators also can be of support to you to take your idea forward. Technology business incubators are for nurturing the technology ideas, technology based ideas. Then if you have idea, if you want to research that, once you enroll into the technology business incubators, naturally you will be given support, and you can use the equipment, machinery, all these things, and try to research that and see whether that will fit into the minimum viable product. Once your minimum viable product is there, then you can go to any kind of investors or grant systems like DBT or DST or NRDC and many other support systems. Now you might have seen, even for Corona, the Niti Aayog has come up with a big proposal. I do not know how many of us are working on this vaccines or medicine for this kind of things. Now today you might have seen the news channels telling Government of India has started testing the Ayurvedic product also. You might have seen this virus don't have vaccines per se. Even the HIV don't have vaccines and other things. But ultimately, the onus lies in us in coming up with the immune boosters. If you could able to come up with immune boosters, that's wonderful. China claimed that, you might have seen, China said, we are trying to match this modern medicine along with the traditional medicine. What is the traditional medicine? Mostly the Ganoderma kind of mushrooms, spirulina kind of things, and many other things. They matched these two things, and they try to say, now we are out of Corona, now we are moving forward. So other countries are still suffering. So traditional medicine, another thing. But with research, if you could able to come up with some data that some of the marine products also has immunomodulating potential, then that's a wonderful intervention, I would say, to take it forward. So of course, Technology Business Incubator, Satyabama University, and there are many incubators across the country. This is only an indicative chart. You see everywhere, you see incubation centers available all over the country now. And this is a final slide. And if you see the life cycle of venture, once you get the idea, you get support, from the basic research, you go to the applied research, you get lot of support. Of course, I am using this UC Davis slide, but this also holds good for all countries also. But why I'm telling you is once you do this, and there is a journey starts, and this journey has to be done by the students of any university ecosystem, along with the help of teachers as mentors or the industry experts as mentors, and move forward. And here starts the proof of concept to prototype to next levels, one by one, early stage to venture capital stage. Only up to this level there will be a struggling, and here the new different kind of struggling starts from the marketing and product fit angle. So with this, I close my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer you people. Thank you so much for the patience. Thank you.
Sir,
Yeah,
thank you for the enriching presentation. I hope the participants would have benefited from the ideas.
welcome.
So there is a question from one of our participants.
Yeah.
He says that basic research is also important for fundamentals and basic strengthening.
Right.
But all outputs from basic research cannot be converted into a patent or a technology.
Yes.
This discourages basic researchers, and a lot of funding organizations also do not support them. So if you could offer any guidance to the basic researchers in marine biology field.
I would say there is no discouragement from any angle, I would say. The basic research has become a routine activity for all the laboratories. This is what one should take into mind. You are doing your research continuously. So this forms the basic research. Identifying a new strain is a basic, I would say, and characterizing them will be a bigger work. So that requires more importance nowadays with the kind of requirements or developments happening. So basically, every researcher are supposed to work continuously on their basic studies. You should not leave the left leg and say, I will be working with only my right leg. You have to continuously work on this. As a microbiologist, I have to work on isolating as many new microbes as possible. My responsible lies in taking this to next level. Example, I would say, a simple thing I would say, if I come across a bacteria that has the probiotic potential, example, I would simply say, I put it in a media and try to screen them that this carries antimicrobial potential. I do this, I take it for publication, I wash off my glassware and keep it in the corner and put my bacteria into the freezer. That should not be the case. If I strike something, I should not move to other bacteria, try to continue to work with the same bacteria or a group of bacterial strains and come to the logical conclusion whether this bacterial strain or the group of bacterial strains has the potential for me to take to the next level. That is where the art lies. And there are enough support systems available from almost all funding agencies, and all your studies, whatever you do, should be based on the building blocks that is called basic research. Without basic research, you can't just like that, I am creating a probiotic. Without microbial strain, how is it for me to say that I am creating a probiotic? Without isolating a good broodstock, how come I can say I am trying to create a wonderful seed for my aquaculture ecosystem? It's not possible, right? Without isolating one sponge or striking a sponge, and I cannot just like that I can do nutraceutical, pharmaceutical compounds or medicinal compounds. So basic research is the fundamental one to be pursued by everyone as an expert. And next level is the collaboration, joining hands with many people and try to solve the problem of the society at large. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So there are a lot of participants who wants to know if there are any funding agencies that exclusively fund for marine or seaweed related projects.
See, there is nothing called specific. I would say almost all agencies give money. DST gives money, DBT gives money. Even now, recently, there is a new task force now working on seaweeds also from the Niti Aayog, right? And there are a lot of things are happening. The only thing they expect good proposals to be placed. If somebody says, I want to scan the ecosystem for different algae, then they will not get money. And you have to build on top of that. So I want to go from what is that, Mandapam to Kanyakumari, I want to study the seaweed patterns, means people will simply say, umpty number of years work has gone inside, what is the new you are going to do? And if you say there is a potential, that sponge has the potential to produce this amount of nutraceuticals, and I have the capability to go and find a sponge in the marine ecosystem, and it is available in India. There are reports of its availability in Indian maritime area. Then that carries merit. Like that, there are algae, and if I have come across, if I say I am going to work only on spirulina, you will get money, because 100 not 1000 activities has gone inside, and I will become one among the 1000. You might have seen in 1970s or 80s, the entire America and Europe were working only on phanerochit rhizosporium, a fungus. Nearly, you would have seen at least 15,000 to 20,000 publications emanated in just 10 years, 15 years time. Entire world was working on that. And China, if you go, you can see hundreds of work, not hundreds, lakhs of work has gone in one mushroom called Ganoderma. There is no point telling I'll be working on that. And go to Philippines or other areas, you can see only one seaweed people will be considered for 30, 40 years continuously. But suddenly even Indian ecosystem, I would say, if you see the Mandapam coastal area, we were working the Kapalur Industrial Estate once in 1960s, 70s and 80s. It was full of companies extracting algae and alginates and agar, using this algae collected from this ecosystem. Mostly Jellydiella, Jellydium, Glaciaria, all these things. Suddenly the new algae came, Capapecus alvarezi, that has swept the entire coast now. Right from Katamavadi, this area, people are growing this in a large scale level. And earlier it was collection, now it is cultivation. So like that, we need to add value to research, then only it's possible for you to get money. And there are agencies available. Even if you want to do commercial activity, there are agencies you can knock the doors. If you have an idea that you can get wonderful results out of your research, there are other agencies available. Even this NRD, National Research Development Corporation, can support you. And there are many agencies. So there are no, even MNES is there to help you. So there is no dearth for support. Only thing, you need to take right proposals to the government agencies.
Thank you, sir. So there is a query from Mr. Jayaprabhakaran. He first compliments that the talk was very informative. And he wants to know if we can make a bridge between integrated farming and marine resources. Is it possible to take over such kind of systems? Integrated farming and marine resources.
If I'm right, he refers to agriculture.
Yes, sir. Yes,
agriculture. Yeah, it's very much possible. If you could able to do that, it's wonderful. They can do that, and it will be a normal area. If it is ultimately lead into kind of job creation and also supporting the younger generation, it's wonderful. It's very much possible. One thing, he has to show how these two can be linked together. So the agriculture and land, and the other one is happening in the marine ecosystem. How these two can be linked, he has to show. As I told earlier, the seaweeds can be used for treating the city wastewaters, industrial wastewaters. This is another possibility. Can we grow seaweeds in wastewaters? Even there is a big problem, I would say. Lot of companies are working on desalination plants. And desalination plants produce very good amount of high saline wastewaters. And somebody has to start working on these lines. Can we start using the bacteria or high saline, loving plants or seaweeds to grow there and get mileage out of this? So it all depends on how we try to apply our knowledge to get something, some problems solved by our involvement. That's all.
Thank you, sir. So this query is from Mr. Velraj P. What is the status of using marine resources for bioremediation purpose in Indian industries?
Infancy, I would say, but still there is goods. It carries a lot of potential. You see, almost all industrial wastewater treatments now uses energy guzzling equipments and microbial flora. And most of the industrial effluent wastewater, even the city wastewater plants, are run only by chemical engineers, not by biologists. Now the world has understood biology also plays a major role in treating wastewaters and also bringing many new results. And there are very good examples, I would say. Our very well known person, Professor Shivasubramaniam, is going around the world and establishing many plants for industrial wastewater treatments using only microalgae. And there are potential microalgae available to be studied. That is what I want to stress here. He may be working with 2 or 3. I may be working on 1 or 2. but there are hundreds of organisms to be studied in the open arena. This is more important. And people don't invest their time and knowledge in coming up with new knowledge, but they try to go through, scan the papers and say, oh, spirulina is working well, I also work on spirulina. If gonium working on this, I will also work on gonium. If somebody is working on leptospirosis, I will also work on leptospirosis. I'm just giving examples, more examples, but there are umpteen things. People try to scan the literature and pick thread from that. We never wanted to go and identify a new one that really come up with results. So if we do that, there's a lot of potential, I would say. Lot of potential.
Thank you, sir. Sir, Mr. Vivek Srivastav says this was a wonderful presentation, and he is requesting you to throw some light on the marketing and startup help of the funding agencies.
I'm not getting you. Marketing and startup. What is that?
So how do the startups get help in marketing and funding? Like, what is the maximum cap of funding that a startup can receive?
See, startup has different things. It all depends on the minimal viable product, MVP I told. One is the idea. If you get the idea, you can knock the doors of any funding agencies like DBT, DST, or CSA, or any other organizations to get some grants from them and start rehearsing your idea. Once your idea come to some perfect levels, then you can move to the next level of telling, hey, I have the idea. Now there is a potential for this. I can go to next level. Anybody can help me. You can go out and clap. And if they are really interested, they will come and invest there. But marketing is a different game. Why I'm telling you is, if you have a product, you have to scan the entire ecosystem and see where this product can go into any market requirements. This is more important. See, I can give you the best known example of, not with marine biotechnology, the best example is the Gorilla Glass. The Gorilla Glass was identified in 1960s, but whereas its usage came only in early 2000 when iPhone said, I want a non-breakable glass for my phone. Till then, it was sitting in the shelf. Even we might have read the work on stainless steel. The people working on the stainless steel, they chanced upon that only after visiting their backyard. After some time and see still the rod was glittering, they picked out that and only found out this carries merit. So like that, we do not know when it will strike. But now, in this generation, it's a fast growing generation. You can go out and scan the ecosystem, find out where your product will fit into this. That's more important. Or you can, don't shy away talking to the experts also. So this is another requirement. Most of the time I see the faculties and students don't open their mouth. Even I'm sitting on the other side of the ecosystem on entrepreneurship promotion. People come and simply say, sir, I have an idea. And he will not reveal even up to 40 minutes time when we discuss. We go on scanning them. Finally, he will simply say some idea which may not be worth for him to go beyond Chennai. Right? I'm not discouraging this, but people should be, as researchers, we should be open. The world has changed now. One single person cannot do things. You might have seen Jio, Mukesh Ambani has sold his company to Facebook now, some of his shares. That means the collaboration is happening all over the world. So we as researchers also should try to embrace this and try to have as many collaborators as possible. If I am a bio researcher, I should not shy away joining hands with a nanotechnology person or a biochemistry person or a molecular biology person. And we should not put ourselves in the shoes of saying that I will become nanotechnologist, I will become a molecular biologist, I will become a marketing person, I will also become a what I would say financial agent, all these things. If you don't know, please ask. Go and knock the doors. You'll get a lot of results coming inside. And if we keep ourselves, even I'm interacting almost, simple example I give you. This lady is from Chennai only. She recently moved, live example I'm giving you. She moved to Middle East. She is a finance person. She also runs courses in Udemy and Coursera. And she says, I don't have any friends. I don't have any relatives. I'm the only person working this. I only will do, if at all I want to do something, I will outsource that and get the things done. When I asked what money you will pay for this outsourcing, she said $5 per hour. Who will pay? Who will work for $5 per hour nowadays? Very difficult, right? And if you want a good potential person to work, it is not going to happen. So try to give the best to the collaborators, take them on board. Even if you want to get money to initial level, you will have to start from your, the last slide is there also, still I can screen, you can see there, family and friends in your own money only will help you to start. That's why you say team, form teams, the student teams, instead of student teams and faculty teams, dabble with that. And then go out, if you strike something, go out and say, I want money. Then if your idea is valid, you may get from the angels even up to 5 to 7 crores. Money is not a problem. There are a lot of high net worth individuals available across the world. There are a lot of platforms available, right? They will be happy to support you, right? But only thing they need, what is kind of mileage you will show for them to go to next level. And next, after this angel to venture capital level, you can get even 20 crores money also. But it all depends on your speed and the idea. MVP and product market fit, these two forms more important. And if you are interested, you can personally also talk to me. I'll be happy to support you. That's not a problem.
Thank you, sir. Sir, a lot of participants are asking how to place a trust in an individual and let them know our idea. So they want to know this before starting.
See, normally I used to tell people, you have to have this kind of you should be an extrovert. You cannot be an introvert. Once you start talking to people, you will get to know who they are, what they are. You will get to know. Normally, we used to spend most of our time, sorry to this, how many of you follow, we spend most of our time only in tea shops. Only in tea shops, you get a lot of ideas. And you should also find out who can spend more time with you, not in tea shops alone, even offline. If you throw some idea, go take your friends to a tea shop, sit with them, throw the idea, and wait for some of your friends to come back and tell you, hey, you gave some idea, I thought through this, and I got something new. Can we try to link this also with your idea? So you can see a wonderful partner in that. Maybe not today or tomorrow, even after a week also, he might come and say, by the back of mind, he would be having that with all this kind of day-to-day problems. He may not think, after 1 week, he might say, I was thinking through, today only I got the idea. I am now, see, I got this, can we discuss this now? So try to give some time for people also think through and come back and again discuss with people. Then easily you'll get partners. If you are sitting alone and cribbing and saying that I'm not getting anybody, nobody is coming and talking to me, and nobody is listening to me also, it's not it's a big problem. And you have to talk to more people. Be open. And another thing I tell you, if you're really a master, nobody can steal your idea. Even we also steal more ideas from external ecosystem only. We scan publications, we through hearsay, through friends, only we get ideas. It is not ab initio, Tamil சொல்ற மாதிரி swayambhu, it's not a swayambhu, right? It comes just like that from our back of the mind and say, Seshadri, you start working on it. It's not the case. We scan ecosystem, we try to steal ideas. Means professionally we are getting ideas from that. And there is no harm in sharing this idea with friends and ask them also to be partner with you. It's all to do with the attitudes and interpersonal relationship. Over time, you get a lot of friends.
Thank you, sir. Sir, the participants, almost all of them want to know if any training programs on entrepreneurship development is conducted through our Satyabama TBI.
Yes, we have planned this year, 2020, there will be a lot of series of programs. We do not know it's going to be online or offline. If it is online, many people from outside ecosystem also join. If it is in physical, people also can attend this. And they can get in touch with our TBI. Mr. Kishore is the manager, and he'll be happy to support them and also give them a kind of entry into the kind of programs. Very much possible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the very informative session. I hope all the participants would have benefited from today's talk by Dr. Seshadri. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Instruction for the participants. The feedback link is out in the Zoom chat window. Kindly make note of it and please give us your valuable feedbacks. The participants, if you have any further queries regarding the webinar, you can email contact@corestc@gmail.com. The email ID is out in the chat box too, so kindly make note. I request all the participants to join us for the afternoon session by Mr. J. Balamurugan. And thank you for the participants for your enthusiastic participation in this webinar series. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the questions.